Welcome to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. If you have any questions, just give us a call at 799-9596 or check us out online at teamlally.com.
You know, I would say this is Attilio, and this is the art part of the show. Attilio's random thoughts, anything but random, because I think about them during the week and then bring them to you every week on the show. And here's the first one. Adrienne, do you think it's like important that we understand like our own behavior and what's causing it?
Yeah, I think it's pretty important to understand yourself.
And do you think it's important that we understand how other people behave and why they're reacting the way that they're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, the analogy that I use is two fish are swimming in the ocean, and one fish turns to the other fish and says, "Hey, what do you think about this water?" And the other fish says, "What's water?" And the point of the analogy is that you can be that fish that understands that you're surrounded by water, which is that there's a way that you're behaving and you need to figure out why that is. And there's is
the water kind of like self-awareness?
Yeah, self-awareness. Yes. Exactly. That's a great one. Mm-hmm. You're aware of why you're behaving the way you are, or you're not sure and you want to find out why. And then you want to understand why other people behave the way that they are and understand that and have more fulfillment, more happiness, just more peace in your life, because we always fear the unknown. Mm-hmm. And so, or you could be the other fish that's just going through life pointing at everything else around them and not realizing that the problem is them. So that would be the fish that doesn't even realize that they're swimming around in water. Mm-hmm. So my question to you listeners today, and I don't know, if you're the fish not aware of the water, then you may not know the answer to this question. And the question is, which fish are you? So that would be a great 30, 60-second clip for our social media. Which fish are you?
Which fish are you?
Which fish are you? So one of the things that we teach or suggest and have incorporated it into our business is a water awareness class. What is that water awareness class?
That would be the PSI Basic.
Yeah.
And it happens every 6 weeks right here in Honolulu.
Yeah. Every 6 weeks. It's been around for over 50 years, and you go to this, spend the weekend just doing some self-examination of who you are. Speaking of someone that's examined themselves and is operating at an extremely high level when it comes to property management, who's that?
That would be Duke Kimhan of Hawaii Pacific Property Management with his tip of the week.
Hey, Duke.
Wow, that was a kind of a deep fact you were going into there.
Yeah.
So my tip of the week is for homeowners to seek out Bradley Maruyama for homeowners insurance.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Because there is so much liability when you have a rental property, especially if you have a rental property with a pool. So homeowners, as they venture into the PM side, they need to figure out all this kind of stuff. So they ask me, what kind of insurance should I get?
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Owner, I always get that question because people say, hey, I want to protect myself. So we, as the property manager, insulate the owner at least one layer. And how we do that is we don't put the owner's name on any of our contracts.
Nice.
The tenant has a contract with Hawaii Pacific Property Management. Mm-hmm. So we have liability insurance and we have insurance for coverage of loss and all that kind of stuff, yes. But the homeowner does not have any protection if their home blows away, if their tenant moves out, or if there's a fire next door and it burns down your house.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff that you got to insure for. Hurricane, flood zone coverage, all this kind of stuff. That's not on the tenant. And that's not on your property manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bradley's great.
The owner,
Bradley's great at making sure that you are properly insured. Like, you may not be thinking about certain items, and he's like, nope, you got to get this rider and this rider and this rider if you are a landlord.
Bradley insures our company, Bradley insures my personal homes. Bradley insures my cars. And although he can't insure my Vegas house, I went with an associate of his in Las Vegas.
Nice.
But homeowners, there's a thing called loss of rent coverage. So let's just say you're in a big building and the top unit catches on fire, and the fire department dumps 300,000 gallons of water on the unit, and it goes down 29 floors, and it floods all the below units, and so all the tenants got to move out. What happens? You don't get rent. And it'll take the city of Honolulu to get permits to get all that fixed up. That'll take at least 6 to 8 months. So you're not going to get rent for about a year.
Yeah.
So loss of rent coverage covers that.
Yeah.
And I don't even think it's that much. It's just like a rider that is just, it's that peace of mind.
$50.
Yeah. Something like that could be devastating, financially devastating.
$75.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of money, but homeowners, they don't want to know about it, and they want to go the cheapest way possible.
Yeah.
Because they want to maximize the return. But let me tell you, you get your neighbor's house burns and your one wall of your house burns down. You still got to get out the tenant and fix that wall. So there's just so much stuff. And, this brought this to mind last night as I was sitting watching the tsunami coverage. I'm just thinking, oh, my God, I have so many owners that are susceptible to water damage. You get a 10 feet influx of water, 10 feet, and it'll go at least a mile inland. So, oh boy.
Yeah, just
all
imagine
those homes.
Yeah, even just 10 inches of water in your home, everywhere in your home, just imagine all the damage and all the stuff you got to deal with.
So make sure that you have your loss of rent rider if you are a landlord.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's huge.
That's all I'm asking for. Make sure you got that.
I would, you know what? You gave great advice in the beginning. Call Bradley from Allstate Insurance, because you can find out how does the insurance you have right now compare to what he can give you and what he would suggest. And
and are you underinsured?
Yeah, I always say the best insurance is the one you never use, but if you don't have it, you can't use it to begin with. And when you go to put a claim in and you get denied, ouch.
Yep.
When you're pinching the pennies. You talked about pools now.
Being a liability.
I just Googled it, and this is what AI came back with. I said, what are the pool regulations for on Oahu? Pool fencing requirements: if the pool holds more than 18 inches of water, it needs a fence. Fence must be at least 4 inches tall. Gate fences must be self-closing, and then the fence needs to be climb resistant. Again, this is just from Google AI, so double check with the appropriate authorities on that. But yeah, it makes sense that.
But extra insurance too.
Yeah, extra insurance.
And then you get a tenant in there with young children.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh boy.
I know that's a concern and stuff like that. So
first of all, I wouldn't let that happen.
Yeah.
As a property manager.
Yeah.
Second of all, you're going to have pool fencing.
Yeah.
Not perimeter, but
around the pool.
Immediately around your pool now. Yeah. Yes, that's a new law.
Yeah, because then you're liable for even if the neighbor's kids sneak in there, right?
Yep,
and,
exactly.
I think more, it's unfortunate, but more drownings occur for the little ones in the pools than they do in the ocean. So you got to be careful with those things. Great tip.
Call Bradley.
For
your insurance.
Call Bradley.
Duke says call Bradley.
Thank you, Duke.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Duke.
Bye-bye.
Hey, that's Duke Kimhan of Hawaii Pacific Property Management. He is an expert we trust. You can find out all about Duke on the resource tab on teamlally.com.
Hey, speaking of Bradley himself,
he's here.
He is next up on the line, and we're going to be talking to Bradley. Bradley, Duke just gave you a big shout out and said his number one tip for property management this week, Bradley, is to call Bradley from Allstate Insurance to make sure that you have the proper insurance.
Properly insured.
Yeah.
Yes.
You just got a shout out, and here you are. You're on the show. But what you got for us this week, Bradley?
All right. So at 4:50 yesterday, we're getting inundated with phone calls.
Oh, I can imagine.
Some people didn't realize that flood is not covered under their homeowners insurance. It's an exclusion, and flood insurance is typically a separate policy.
Yeah.
Some people are also calling saying, "Oh, I didn't realize, but I didn't pay for my insurance."
Uh-oh.
So let me go over 2 tips.
Yeah.
Let's go over the first one. Flood insurance has a waiting period of some companies 30, some 60. You know what? Let me
before it becomes
waiting period
in effect. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like you can just say, "Brad, I want to get flood insurance right now. There's a tsunami coming." So
Yeah, like you saw the morning news and you're like, I need to get insurance before 7:00 tonight, because I think that's when it was supposed to hit land. They calling you at 6. Hey, can I get that flood insurance? Or they kind of call you when they see the ocean receding and then the wave building. Oh, Bradley, I need the insurance. When? Oh, in the next 10 seconds. So waiting period. That's good to know.
Wanting to get it right away.
Yeah.
So there's an exclusion, but you have a couple of options with us.
Yeah.
We do write a flood policy through FEMA. So it is a
what does that mean?
Policy with the FEMA is a government agency that underwrites a lot of these flood policies for the state.
Yeah, the government.
Well, you'll see the Allstate name on it, but we're just a servicing agency for FEMA.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay. Now, I think a couple of weeks ago, we do have a carrier that does do flood insurance as a rider on your hurricane. But there's they only accept X amount per zip code. So if you do have Palomar insurance, reach out to your agent. If you are insured with me, reach out to us and see how expensive or inexpensive it would be to add that rider on. Now, these tsunamis are caused by earthquakes. So that's another exclusion that people don't realize, that, earthquake coverage is excluded on your homeowner's insurance. So if you feel like, wow, there's a lot of activity in the Pacific right now, with earthquakes happening from Alaska to Russia to Japan to Hawaii, then reach out to your agent and see if there are any policies they could purchase for earthquake insurance. So 2 things that people don't typically buy because it's not top of mind is hurricane, tsunami or flood insurance and earthquake insurance, but it is accessible. So, very important you reach out to your agent.
Yeah. So Bradley, because the tsunami was caused by the earthquake, if you just get your earthquake insurance, will that cover you from the tsunami?
Yeah. No, it will not. So, whenever you think of what's covered and what's not, you gotta.
It's like a direct damage, not like a domino effect damage.
Correct. So, I always tell people you got to find out what is the covered loss or what caused the house to get flooded. And in this case, it would have been a tsunami. So for hurricanes, it would be storm surge. But I like to tell people for flood insurance, you got to always think, once the water touches the ground and enters your house, that's flood insurance.
Okay.
So if it's a tsunami, it's coming from the ocean, the water is already touching the ground or at the ground level and enters your home, there'll be flood insurance. River level rises and enters through your sliding door, that's flood insurance. Now, the water never touches the ground and the hurricane rips off your roof and water enters through your roof or through your windows. That'll be wind or hurricane insurance. So there's a big difference. And I'll tell you, most people that don't have a loan or are not in a flood zone, it's not required to have flood insurance.
Yeah.
But I do have a couple buddies that live in Ewa Beach that, are like 3-4 houses away from the ocean, not in a flood zone. And they're like, Brad, what happens if the tsunami hits? I don't have flood insurance. I said, well, now might be a good time to consider getting some. So.
Yeah, FEMA, it was cool. I just Googled FEMA, and they actually have an app, and you can type in your zip code and see what your risk zone is for the zip code. But so here's their definition of a flood. And this is for FEMA's standard flood insurance policy, SFIP. 2 or more acres of normally dry land or 2 or more properties that are partially or completely submerged by water from any of these events. You ready? overflowing inland or tidal waters, unusual quick surface water runoff, mud flows, rivers of liquid, flowing mud caused by flooding, collapse or sinking of land along a lake or other body of water caused by heavy waves or currents. So,
hey, Bradley, what kind of insurance covers you if you have an uninsured drunk driver that runs into a fire hydrant and floods your home or office?
yeah.
So that would be the policy you carry for your business or residence. So the other person doesn't have insurance. Your homeowners or your business insurance would cover that loss and go after, or should be going after the other party.
Yeah.
Well, we had to really go deep on that one because that happened to us.
Yeah,
and we got denied, and Bradley fought for us to make sure that we got it
thank
covered.
you, Bradley. Speaking of going deep on that, high-risk flood areas begin with the letters, and tell me, this is what's from the FEMA site, A like Alpha and V like Victor on the FEMA flood maps. They are also known as special flood hazard areas. If you own property in a high-risk zone and have a government-backed mortgage, you must purchase flood insurance. And then here's an interesting actuary or probability. Over a 30-year mortgage, homes in these areas have a 1 in 4 chance of flooding at least once.
Ooh.
25% chance of flooding at least once if you're in the A as in Alpha, V as in Victor. And if you have a mortgage from the mortgage backed by the government, you have to have flood insurance required. Just that's something to know if you're buying a home in those areas, right? Bradley, do you think it would be a smart thing for home buyers right now to check what the flood zone is of the home they're buying in?
One more time, sorry.
Yeah, if somebody's buying a home in Hawaii, should they check what what zone they're in for flooding?
Or tsunamis.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's very important. I wouldn't wait for the mortgage or loan officer to tell you, wow, you're going to need flood insurance. It's required by the mortgage. I would be proactive and see if you're in an A zone or V zone, because if you are, you're most likely, you're going to have to get flood insurance for those.
And you've got to factor that into your budget, right? So.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So get Bradley to quote it.
Now, I heard Attilio say the two important zones, which is A zone and V zone.
Yeah.
But there is also called a D zone. And
D like Delta. D
and as Delta. And it's undetermined. And I've seen D zones in Mililani, which sits on a mountain, and I've also seen D zones in Hawaii Kai, but the marina. So, maybe not so much... it's not so important to get a flood policy up in Mililani, but if you're close to the marina in Hawaii Kai, that might be a reason to consider getting a quote on flood insurance. Yeah.
A as in Alpha, V as in Victor are typically coastal areas. And again, that's the one where they say they have a 26% chance. D, like you mentioned, per FEMA, areas where flood risk has not been determined and no flood hazard analysis has been conducted. And then B like Baker, X is an X-ray, moderate flood areas. These are usually like the places where you have the 100-year and 500-year flood areas. And then C like Charlie, X is an X-ray. Same thing. Low probability of flood in those areas. And so, you know what? It's super easy. I'm going to give you guys a website, floodsmart.gov, floodsmart.gov, if you want to know anything about that. And that, instead of getting it from some 12-year-old on TikTok, go to floodsmart.gov.
Or give Bradley a call. Even better.
Yeah.
Give me a call.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
Anything else, Bradley?
No, that's it for now.
Thank you, Bradley. Excellent reminders and tips, as always.
Yeah, don't wait for a tsunami all over the news to get you motivated to check on your flood insurance. Do it now. Speaking of mortgages, buying homes, and, that's the other part, right? You got your insurance, but then you have
the mortgage.
We have another expert we trust on the line. Who's that, Adrienne?
We have Danny Langerman from DHA Financial.
Hey, Danny, what you got for us this week?
Well, just giving everyone a heads up today that today the Fed matched
and they did not cut interest rates, so they kept interest rates the same. But to take note, one thing of interest is when the Fed decides to cut, they take a vote. And today it was a 7-2 vote. So 2 members of the board actually wanted to cut rates right now. Mm-hmm. So that tells us there's some growing pressure, even within the Fed, to get rates to move a little bit lower. So, I know I've said this before, but if you're waiting on the fence for rates to, to drop, again, I think the prices of homes are going to go up. So if you're going to purchase a home, now's a great time to do it.
Yeah, you want to do it when interest rates are high because as a buyer, you have less competition because you can, can you go back in, 5 years from now, can you go back and renegotiate the purchase price of your home, Adrienne?
No.
But could you go ahead and refinance and get a different interest rate?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And Danny, isn't there like a lot of different kind of programs that could be done between like the Buydowns or ARMs, stuff like that to help, ease the pain of the higher interest rates?
Well, talk about a Buydown. Tell people, Danny, real quick, what is a Buydown? What does that mean?
So a Buydown, there's different types of Buydowns. I'll just use a 2-1 Buydown as an example. But typically what that means is you or let's even say that the seller's willing to put some money in to help buy your rate down, but it starts at a 2% lower rate than what the fixed rate would be for the last 28 years. So for years, months 1 through 12, let's just say you got an interest rate at 6%, 5%, and then months 13 through 24, you'll have an interest rate 1% higher at 6%, and then for the next 28 years, you'll have a 7% interest rate. So it gives you a little bit of a relief for those first 2 years before
it settles
the
in.
rate that you're at.
But you could always refinance in the next 2 years if the rates did drop and the votes, like there's more people that were voting to drop the rates. You could always refinance at that point and keep your rate low forever. Well, not forever, but for the the remaining balance of the loan, 30 years.
Very true. Yep. As I've heard Attilio say before, you're married to your house and you're only dating your rate.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. And you can get in and negotiate a much better price when there's less buyers in the market, and it's a little bit more of a balanced or buyer's market now. Right. So when those interest rates drop lower, it kind of tables get turned.
Yes.
So do it now.
Do it now. Thanks, Danny.
You bet. Bye, guys.
All righty.
Thank you.
So, by the way, if you want to get a hold of any of our experts we trust, maybe you heard them on the show, please, if you do hear them on the show, mention it to them that's how you're hearing about them. I'll give you a tip for business owners. Anytime a customer calls you, emails you, texts you, walks in the front door, you should be taking the opportunity to find out why they're doing that. What got them to come in through the door, call you, email you?
How did they hear about you?
How did you hear about us? Should be, hey, welcome, blah, 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 introduction. Second question should be, how did you hear about us? Why is it important to know how they hear about our business?
So you can do more of that, whatever it is.
Yeah. Or and less of the other stuff that's not working because nobody ever says this is the reason why you came in. Or if it was
a referral, then you want to reach out and thank that person that sent the client over.
Send them a personal note with a $5 gift card. Are you ready for the deal of the week, Wahiawa?
Yes, the deal of the week.
Here we go. We have a deal of the week in Wahiawa, 1156 Hoi Hoi Avenue.
In Whitmore Village. It's listed at $750,000.
This is a 7-bedroom, 1.5 bath, 1,368 square feet.
Spacious layout with a flexible floor plan, ideal for multi-generational living or rental potential.
Private yard, perfect for gardening, entertaining, or expansion.
There's a 2-car covered carport with additional driveway space.
Located near Schofield Barracks, Wheeler Air Force Airfield, and the North Shore.
It's close to parks, schools, and farmers markets.
All right, so this is the perfect canvas for buyers looking to upgrade, invest, or personalize a property in connected and charming neighborhood. Again, this is our deal of the week in Wahiawa, 1156 Hoi Hoi Avenue.
It's brand new, and we actually already got an offer. It's not accepted, so still time, people.
Yeah. And by the way, here's a little tip for you if you're a buyer and your agent calls to find out that there's already an offer on the property, disregard that information, write your offer and send it in.
Anything can happen.
And
during
it
escrow.
doesn't matter how long they are in the escrow process. Here's going to tell you a little secret. Opening escrow and closing escrow are completely two different things, and they are no way guaranteed one or the other. However, I will tell you that you will 100% not get a property that you don't write an offer on.
This is true.
That is true. So,
All right, so let's talk about, we've got some open houses and then a review, and then we're going to take a break.
by the way, we've got a ton of open houses happening every weekend because we have a ton of sellers that I would tell you the number one reason why sellers call us to list their homes for sale or talk about the possibility of getting their home sale and hiring us to get the job done. I would say the number one thing that I hear all the time when I say, how are we coming on your radar? How did you hear about us? Is what? Starts with an R and ends with views.
Yes, on Google, they see all the reviews that we have, and they're like, okay, I got to call these people.
Yeah, so we're really good at what we do. Don't take our word for it. Please go to Google and check out our over 700 plus 5-star reviews. Speaking of which, so this has brought us our sellers who are doing these open houses. Where's the first one? And let's go quick.
First one is in Waianae, 850,000.
What's the address?
84778 Mo'ua Street.
In Waianae, 850,000. This is going to be Saturday, August 2nd from 1 to 4 p.m.
It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1152 square foot.
Detached single-family home.
It's on 11,000 square foot lot.
Extra living space with separate entrance.
There's a carport, garage, and driveway parking.
Ocean, garden, and sunset views.
It's great for multi-generational or extended family living.
All right. So again, that's our open house at 84778 Mo'ua Street in Waianae. Listed price $850,000. And now we're going to take you from Waianae to Makakilo.
Yes. Well, that one was Saturday. So this one is now our Sunday open houses.
Yeah.
We got 2 on Sunday. So
what's the address and what's the price?
Makakilo Drive in Kapolei, $550,000.
All right. So Sunday, August 3rd from 1 to 4 p.m. This is a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, 1,400 square feet.
It's at the Palihua Gardens Townhomes.
Guess what? This one's got solar panels and
Nice.
it's 15 of them and they're owned.
It's finished loft with approximately 220 square foot of bonus storage.
Open concept layout with granite countertops and stainless steel appliances.
Private garden patio with ocean views and no rear neighbors.
2 parking stalls, in-unit washer dry, and across the community pool walking trails. Again, this is 92-967 Makakilo Drive, number 2 in Kapolei. List price is $550,000. Now, where are we going to take them for? We went to Waianae. We went to Makakilo. Where are we going next?
Well, we're going back to Wahiwa. So our deal of the week that we talked about earlier is going to be open from 2 to 5 on Sunday.
Yeah.
August 3rd, 7 bedrooms, 1.5 bath, about 1,400 square feet.
Flexible floor plan
yes.
with multi-generational potential. We're going to say it
already,
again,
yes,
but do it again. Give it to them.
Private yard with space to garden or garden to expand.
2-car covered parking, close to Schofield. The base is out there in Waihawa.
Yes.
Great opportunity to upgrade and invest. Again, that is going to be Sunday, August 3rd, 1156 Hoi Hoi Avenue in Wahiwa. Don't miss it. By the way, you can't miss it because we're going to put a ton of signs out. All you got to do is looking for all the Team Lally open house signs.
That's right.
All right.
All right. So I've got a review from David Horsley.
No way.
Yes. So what David has to say is that Robert answered the phone when I called. He listened so well to everything that I was muttering into the phone. Then, of course, had some clarifying questions. He was so nice. I felt like we were going to pack up a picnic lunch and just go hang out for a while because he was funny and I was comfortable talking to him.
Yeah.
Good job, Robert.
Good job, Robert, for that 5-star review from David Horsley. By the way, again, go ahead and read through our reviews. This is what we know. We don't really have any control over somebody giving us a 5-star review. All we have control over is the experience that they have, and that's a result of that experience that they have with us when we go and help them with their buying or selling decision. Hey, I want to make a quick announcement that in September we are looking to bring on 4 more agents. These are full-time agents. You can either have a license, not have a license. It doesn't matter at this point. But by the time we get to start in September with our next training session, you must have passed your real estate school and passed the state and federal tests. and be ready to go. But we don't care if you have experience or not, because we're going to give you everything you need to do to be successful. How long have we been doing this, Adrienne?
20 years.
20
plus years
of coaching, training agents and bringing them to the highest level of success. So I think we know a thing or two about helping people be successful in real estate. What do you think?
I think so. And we do have a career night coming up September 8th. So you can come to it's going to be at our office.
At our office in Kapolei.
HawaiiCareerNight.com.
Again, that's HawaiiCareerNight.com.
Yep. And then we usually will
What if they don't want to wait?
We will do on-the-spot interviews right after. If they don't want to wait, they can go to jointeamlally.com and start the application right now.
By the way, hey, you're listening to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program. If wherever you're listening, you miss it, you can catch up with this broadcast on iTunes, because give us about a week. All our shows are uploaded to iTunes, as well as, you know what I learned? On LinkedIn, you can register as an event, and then it will put it on your calendar and remind you, and you can kind of watch us streaming on LinkedIn, and I'm sure Facebook, on other platforms.
Yeah, Facebook, it's there too.
Yeah.
Yep, and YouTube.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? If you have a question on any of our social media, all you got to do is direct message us your question and say, I have a question for the Team Lally Real Estate Show, and it is, and tell us your name. And if we read your question and mention you by name, we'll send you a $5 Starbucks gift card.
All right. So we are going to take a break, but stay with us. When we come back, we'll be talking with Amphay Champathong of the Estate Planning Group. He'll walk us through the basics of estate planning, common mistakes to avoid, and how to create a solid plan to protect your loved ones.
So stay with us.
Decades 107.9 playing the greatest music ever made. It's Mornings with Augie. Hey, you know someone that moved to the mainland but left the rental property behind? So Amber wanted to create a new investment opportunities on the mainland, but she had to sell her island rental first. So she reached out to our good friends Adrienne, Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally Real Estate Group of Keller Williams, Honolulu. Handling the business virtually with Amber, Adrienne and Attilio came prepared with multiple 5-star selling strategies, including adjusting Amber's selling price expectations, and the home sold in days. If you're in a market to sell your home and you want a team that will make you the most money with the least amount of drama, you can trust our good friends Adrienne and Attilio of Team Lally. Give them a call today, 808-799-9596. That's 808-799-9596. They're trusted. You see these signs all over in my community. Visit teamlally.com today. That's teamlally.com today.
In today's fast-changing real estate market, you need access to the right information to make smart choices. I invest in real estate all over the country, and I rely on smart agents who know their local market inside and out. In Honolulu, I work with Adrienne, Lally and Attilio Leonardi. Adrienne, Attilio, and their team sell a home every 72 hours and have over 750 5-star reviews. Go to teamlally.com and find out in just seconds what your home is really worth.
Hey, Sean Hannity here, talking with the only real estate agent in your market I recommend. Adrienne Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally Real Estate Group of Keller Williams, Honolulu. Now more than ever, buyers and sellers need an expert to navigate this ever-changing market. And what do you do to stand out?
Hey, Sean, we are a team with over 500 plus 4.9 star reviews, over 1,600 transactions under belt, and 20 years in the business. It's going to take a lot of resources to get a home sold today.
What kind of programs do you offer?
Sean, we offer the guaranteed sale, instant offer close in 12 days, $10K for upgrades, love it or leave it, no hassle listing. No matter what situation the client is in, we've got solutions.
Great update. Thank you for keeping us informed. Put the most experience and the best marketing to work for you. Call Team Lally now at 799-9596 or online at teamlally.com. That's teamlally.com.
Well, welcome back, and thanks for listening to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. I'm Adrienne.
And I'm still Attilio.
And if you have any questions, just give us a call at 799-9596 or check us out online at teamlally.com.
Our guest today grew up in Kalihi and graduated from Kalani High School. He holds a BA in sociology, a master's in social work, and a Juris Doctorate from William S. Richardson School of Law. He is also a member of the Hawaii State Bar Association.
He focuses his legal practice on estate planning, helping families with wills, trust, probate, guardianship, and special needs planning.
Yeah.
With a thoughtful and personalized approach, he guides clients through important decisions to secure their future. Please welcome back our guest, Amphay Champathong.
Hey, Amphay.
Aloha.
Hello.
Hey, Attilio. Hey, Adrienne.
Hello. Hey, you know what? I know you got stuff for us, but I got a question for you right off the bat. When somebody creates a trust, and I know there's a lot of other things inside the trust that are taken care of, healthcare directives, pour over wills, all that stuff. Who's going to get the dogs and all that good stuff, and burial instructions. But regarding real estate, specifically regarding real estate, let's say there's a trust in place, and this real estate is going to go to the kids equally. Mm-hmm. And then the person, what is it? Is it the person who has the trust made for them? Or do you call them the trustor?
That would be the beneficiary we talking made. Oh,
no. The person. Yeah, like my trust. Yeah. I'm the trustor for my trust for my stuff.
Grantor, grantor, settlor.
Yeah, all those. Or. You know what? In real estate, the grantor is behind the door. That's how we remember the door of the house. But anyway, okay. So Attilio, I make a trust. I'm the trustor. Boom! I get hit by a bus. I'm dead. I'm up in pearly gates, looking down, going, "Oh, woo! I'm glad I met with Amphay and had my stuff all squared away in the trust." And then the house is going to be split equally between my 4 kids. The proceeds. Can someone come after the fact and change my instructions and
add a 5th kid
while I'm up in heaven looking down and getting all like bent out of shape because they're changing my instructions? Can they is that possible?
So it depends on the provisions of the trust.
Oh, yeah?
I can say specifically with regards to the trust that my firm sets up.
Yeah.
It's very clear that when the grantor or trustor creates the trust, and then they pass away, our article says that the entire trust now becomes irrevocable.
Irrevocable. From what is it, living trust, I'm alive, to I'm dead, irrevocable.
Meaning cannot change now.
That's right.
So
cannot change.
What you're talking about.
No takebacks, no redos.
Yes, so Attilio is asking this question because we are coming across something like this real life.
It's been stated that that's what took place. We have yet to see the paperwork on that because we were completely shocked
when we heard this whole thing.
That somebody could change who gets what proceeds from the sale of a real estate after the passing of the trustor. Mm-hmm. And that, so we'll do it's like a second date update. We'll give you guys an update on that situation.
What we find out after more digging.
More digging, more research, title reports, taking a look at the trust, seeing what's been recorded on the property itself, any kind of judgments and all of that. So we'll circle back on that and find out what you talked about. It depends, right? And we'll find out what that depends situation.
With how the trust is written.
Back to our original programming, Amphay. You had something for us this week you want to talk about?
I've come across a few families, that actually created their estate plans, but failed to complete their homework.
Oh, what kind of homework?
What people?
Math homework, English homework. What kind of homework?
So we call this funding your trust.
Yes.
So go back to the trust being a bucket analogy.
Yeah.
Once we create it, after creating it, we have to fund it. Funding it means
put the stuff in the bucket.
Put things in the bucket and, put the instructions in there about what happens, okay? So now, if you don't fund it, then you have an empty bucket, and it defeats the purpose really of why we're creating the trust. So for me, what I want to share about today is really that follow-up, what's
execution.
Families to fund.
Yeah.
Yes. So I always share with them. I go, okay, when we sign all the documents, once everything is executed, okay, everybody, we're all done.
Yeah.
And everybody's all happy, peace of mind. Everybody, the anxiety is done, the planning is in place. And then I go, wait, stop. We're all done. However, you're still have homework. I'm done, but you have homework.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah.
They got to go do all of that stuff. And I know like some, like for example, on my personal experience, some of the homework is like, there you have worksheets in there for people to fill out, and some of them aren't necessarily anything that has to be like super technical, like to be recorded or changed or with checking accounts, but like, what are the instructions that you want for your burial? You know, like putting those details in there. Talk about like, Amphy, real life example. Let's say that you make the trust and you designate. How do people designate your personal belongings to who gets what? Like, what if you go in yo-yo collection and so you put instructions? Who's going to get the yo-yo collection?
So part of the estate plan is actually, so I keep saying our estate plan because, like I said, what we do here at Estate Planning Group, and of course the work that I do, it's a comprehensive plan, meaning we cover all the bases. So
yes.
Going back to that plan, what you're talking about is what we call personal property.
Yes.
As well as tangible personal property. So a yo-yo collection to somebody mean nothing, and then to somebody else it would be the most sentimental thing for them to leave to whatever that person is. Right?
Yeah.
So part of the portfolio actually has a section that allows for families or individuals to leave the things now that have either monetary or sentimental value.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've heard stories about people fighting over the coffee table and the wedding rings and the jewelry and this and that. And I mean, it just goes on, and it just creates unnecessary rift, with loved ones. So
I think what happens, and then Adrienne's got a question, is that what the best thing that you can do for your family, right? Like they find out you died, you passed away. By the way, I'm hoping to pass away like my grandfather in his sleep, but not like his passengers in the car who were screaming.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's why Attilio doesn't drive, and I do all the driving.
Yeah, because you're going to be passing away like my grandfather's passengers screaming. But the point being is that when that happens, I don't know of anybody that's not in a heartbreaking, devastating, you're going through grief. Right? A lot of emotions, would you guys agree? Mm-hmm. And then you got to make logical decisions and guess what your loved one wanted. Amphy, do you find when you come into, because I know you come to situations where they haven't done that and then you get called in at the last minute, yeah?
Yes.
Do you find people, like anecdotally, or just if you want to share a story where people, like give an example of something that people thought the loved one wanted, but then there was a difference in opinion of what they think that person wanted. You have any examples like that?
I just wanted to kind of just piggyback off what you said, with regards to the planning, and like when it gets done. It's probably the worst scenario where you actually have to do it when the person sitting across from you and the loved ones is in that place, where they have
high emotions,
very limited amount of time.
Yeah.
I just shared a story today in a meeting I had this morning. It was just heart-wrenching to just talk about it because, it's actually a family member of mine, and we were doing their estate plan as, we know he will soon leave us. And, his wife gets upset, and then, she's just really upset and, and yelling and this and that and excuses herself. And, and then he feels bad. And I told him, don't feel bad. I totally, it's not conversations that we want to have in those moments, but yet necessary, right? And, of course, then a few days pass and then she comes and she apologizes for it. And I get it. There's no need for it. It's just, I go, that's not the time. Best if we all look at, where we're at, and then you go, what is this planning about? So, and I didn't answer your question, Attilio, but that's really, I kind of wanted to kind of go there, and I go, I've been to hospitals many a times. I've walked into a hospital room where we're going to sign a document, and the nephew comes on and says, she just passed, and I'm like, that's, it sucks for me, and I can't even imagine what it is for the family, right?
So the point of all of this, Adrienne, is what?
Don't procrastinate.
Don't procrastinate, or don't procrastinate and do it now.
Yeah, do it now.
Do it now.
So, Amphay, as far as, after you get your estate plan done, how often should you be reviewing it or updating it or making sure that it's all like...
How you gonna know? You need to put more stuff in the bucket.
Yeah, things change, over the years.
Because you get the stuff when you make the bucket, and then you have more stuff you get after you made the bucket. So how you know you're going to put them in the bucket? And are there opportunities sometimes when you should have put it in the bucket? What do you think? What are your suggestions, Amphy?
So when we talk about funding, almost every asset you own should go into your trust.
Yeah.
Unless there's a specific reason why it does not go in.
Yeah.
So let me
an example.
Everything that you own, unless there's a specific reason. One big specific reason is, when we talk about qualified retirement accounts, and this is very specific, right? It's more because for tax purposes that you don't put it into your trust. Okay. However, there are other things that we can do to assure that account does not go through probate, right? But for the most part, everything should go into trust. So part of our planning as well is we provide to our families a handbook that outlines all of the possible assets they can own and what to do with them as they acquire additional assets. Okay, as they build their nest egg, they can actually just put them in. And all of my families, they can give me a call anytime when they have questions about, let's say, they open up another account and for whatever reason it's kind of funky. Just give me a call. Right, and then be more than happy to let them know what to do with these assets that they acquire later on. Now, Adrienne, with regards to your question with how often, I would say, look at your plan every 3 to 5 years. If you don't change anything, just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine the way it is. Okay, and then if you do decide to change, that's when we would update all of the documents at that time.
The other thing too, Amphy, is that old school before you had this big binder and then everybody got to go look for, we have what's the purpose of having a short form and a long form of the trust? Or what is the purpose of having the short form?
Confidentiality.
Okay.
So usually the short form is more when you are, that contains all of the necessary information that says I have a valid trust. So that's for third parties like banks.
Gotcha.
That way you protect all of the other articles that's not, purview to them. It's not important for them to know who's going to get what, right?
Or, if you're getting cremated or you get one casket, open casket, they don't need the bank. The bank people don't need to know that.
On the confidentiality, I know that I had emailed you, Amphy, about just like the ownership in real estate. We've gotten advice from different sources about owning real estate in an LLC.
Create layers.
Not necessarily like in your trust, but maybe have the trust owns the LLC. So that at least there's that
Does that work?
Layer.
The LLC owns the property and then the LLC is in the trust.
Yes. The trust,
The ownership interest.
Yeah. Okay.
That's an option.
That's one way of doing it.
Just depending on your situation, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And what type of industry you're in. Yeah.
Yeah, there's many, many things that we can we go over, and for us or for myself, most important, I want it to be where now my families, make informed decisions. Even just with additional property, like should you hold it in an LLC and have the LLC interest be owned by the trust? I go, well, it depends, and we kind of go through that depends scenario, right? Of going, okay, what are you, so. But at the end of the day, again, it's really going, now you have a plan.
Yeah.
You are making that's a well-informed plan. So that's the key.
I think so, because if people don't have a trust, and this is a real estate show, and you're an estate planner, so you're covering everything. But if people they own their own personal property or that they live in, and they don't have it in a trust, what's the downside of that?
It will go to probate, period.
Yeah, and what's the downsides of probate?
Oh man, where should I start? I'm thinking of a client
start from the beginning.
that I'm working with, and I feel so bad for the family, because what happens is this, okay? When you don't do your planning, then the state of Hawaii will give that plan to you.
Yeah.
We call this intestate, basically meaning if you pass away and you don't have a plan, specifically when you look at property, real property, the state will say, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And this one client that I see right now, it went totally sideways of what he thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
They lived in the family home for 30-something years. This was going to be their family home.
Yeah.
Guess what? That's not what's going to happen. So now, two other individuals that have not contributed one penny to this home is going to receive a significant amount of, basically a couple $100,000 because of the lack of planning.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So that's probably the most important thing is if you want to, for the things that we work hard for, like our home, go to the people, and people assume it's my spouse or people assume it's going to be my children. I go, well, rather than make that assumption, why don't we exercise our liberties and say this is what's going to happen?
Yeah.
And that's really why the estate planning is important.
So, Amphy, right now people are like, what's the phone number? They've been saying it all along in their heads. What's the best number to reach you at to
start their planning?
Do an initial consultation. Yes. What's the number?
So I actually have, you can contact me directly. So my direct line is 808-218-9301. And then, of course, it's my direct line. You leave me a message, I will call you back.
Yeah, so that's 218-9301, 218-9301. You know what's going to be at the end of that phone when you call it? Peace of mind.
That's right.
Peace of mind. People do it now. Because Adrienne and I, we've been doing this 20 years, probably over 1,700 transactions, and probably, 200-300 families in this kind of situation. And I will tell you, what people think 30 years ago was going to happen goes completely sideways 30 years later when we get involved to go sell the property, because it's nothing imaginable of what grandma or grandpa wanted. And it creates a lot of divisiveness and people not talking to each other all over a bunch of bricks and sticks. So call Amphy right now
And I would also say that not all estate planning attorneys are created equal.
Yes.
So Amphy is the best.
Yeah.
Amphy has also gone through all of the PSI training. And as you heard in the intro, his accolades, just having that additional training in the social work as well.
Yeah.
So just really understanding from
and
all
empathetic
angles.
Empathetic person. 218-9301, 218-9301. Thank you so much, Amphy.
Thank you,
we look
Amphy.
forward to having you on the show again.
Yes. Thank you, Amphy.
Thanks, Amphy.
Adrienne, take care.
Aloha.
Aloha.
All righty.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, and thank you to our sponsors.
Jody and Derek of Pacific Rim Mortgage.
Bradley of Allstate Insurance.
Kenji, Pillar to Post Home Inspections.
John with Kilauea Pest Control.
Duke with Hawaii Pacific Property Management.
Robinson, Fine Line Paintworks.
Amphy with Estate Planning Group.
Jason Wu, Attorney at Law.
Rhino with Hawaii Unified.
Janice of Dreamhouse Drafting.
Fabio, Hawaii Water Damage Restoration.
Kyle with Impact Wealth.
Brian with Cleanscape.
Benji of Hawaii Referral Agent.
Danny with DHA Financial. If you want to get a hold of any of our sponsors, just go to teamlally.com.
We also want to give a big thank you to Leah Rodriguez, our producer here in the studio, and Sheen, our video producer.
Chee-hoo.
Make sure to tune in next week. We'll have an awesome guest talking about something that'll change your life
forever. This is the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the guaranteed sold program.
If we can't sell your home at the agreed upon price in our time frame, we'll have it bought for cash.
Thanks and aloha.